And stand by for the broadcast. Coming up next, the Forbidden History series, Jack and Marty Flynn. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as medical or legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way every Saturday and Sunday now on the Forbidden History series. Soon to be 7 days a week. We're working on it. Have a few bugs to work out, so could use your support. Do tell your friends, won't you? And thanks for doing that. You did tell your friends, right? Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio and Free America Radio Network in a land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History series, the Piracy of Words, the Other Lost Writings, and every Sunday night, Jack and Marty Flynn, Citizens of the American Constitution.net. So we're going to be celebrating the interdependence or the great lies of history tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So time to call your friends. And this is, of course, being recorded. And you can join us also if you want to vent or share your views. Call in at 712-432-8773. That's 712-432-8773. PIN number 179441#. 179441#, and *5 will raise your hand. Again, 712-432-8773. PIN number 179441#. *5 will raise your hand. Always recorded, and the pre-recorded line is just the 8774 instead of the 8773. Same PIN number, and then when prompted, hit O# for the most recent broadcast, or today's date would be 7/2/17 for any time in the future you want to listen, whatever the date, 7/2/17. Okay, so there you go. And if you want to text us on Skype, that's another way you can contact us too. Search on Skype, Free America Radio, all one word, free, as in freedom, Free America Radio. And that still says in Kingsland, Georgia. And the Forbidden History series, it should say there. So check that out. Love to have you as contact and say hello. And I'm going to open with a very special read from the Colbran. The Colbran. Some call it the Colbran Bible, but it was the book of Joseph of Arimathea, the great uncle of Yeshua, Jesus. And it's rather interesting to read this history that's been hidden from us, because it's talking about the court system and the secret societies and how maybe we got to where we are today, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a good opener, and then we'll bring on Jack and Marty, and we'll talk about the interdependence and the phony freedom that they've waved in that red, white, blue, pastel-colored black and blue flag of deception. And slavery, the slavery flag, the American flag, nobody ever talks about that, it was the Jesuit flag that flew on the high seas in slave trading. Betsy Ross didn't make the flag, the great lies of history. So stand by for the broadcast coming up next. Still time to call your friends. I'm Desert Owl, your host. Glad you tuned in. Our friends on YouTube.com and also on our conference system. and welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm your host, Desert Owl, a bird who sees in the night and see too much, and it's pretty sick. Okay, it's a stinking, rotten, stinking world, basically, and there's beauty in nature, but you know what the problem is, of course, right? The problem is man. He's always been the problem. Because he was supposed to be on a higher level. He was supposed to be enlightened, but first thing he had to overcome was himself, because man was in the proverbial fall, and he had to figure it out. And there were great enlightened minds that spoke truth throughout history, but typically they were persecuted and done away with, so that the ruling elite, the unseen hand, the Aryan Brahmin priesthood could maintain their order and disorder and control chaos, order out of chaos, their order, disorder. But just about 2 days ago, I was amazed to stumble on, and this Colburn is a big book. It's like 500 pages, 8.5 by 11, actually over 500 pages. And I just stumbled on a segment that, even though I know it goes even further back than what is conveying here, because the rabbit hole is big, and as they say, to the winner writes to history, and history literally is Welsh, and it means silent story or serpent story. It literally means both. And so our history is silent. And what's amazing about the Colburn is that it brings out so much that's been hiding from us. And literally, we almost lost it for all time, but decent people in England preserved it off of the bronze sheets that it was captured on, and for 2,000 years, and then handwritten. So I want to give you a little splice, because it's appropriate here on the big lie, the Jew lie, the banker's lie, the fourth, when the Illuminazis, of course, founded America on May 1st, 1776. Well, it's a maxim of law that whoever that which is first is superior. So I guess ours was just basically the Jew lie, and it's not to denigrate a certain culture. Okay, I'm using the euphemism that's created in the fact that it is Jew lie. Okay, and that the banksters, the Kabbalistic servants of the Vatican, the Bauer family, Rothschild, Jewish banking, in the Catholic Encyclopedia says that they are the protectors and the defenders of the Vatican Trust. Okay, yeah, I do have some Jewish friends, and they would forgive my approach, because the history speaks for itself. Okay, and so I want to give this read as quick as possible and run through it, so that we can bring on Jack and Marky. It won't take me but probably 8 minutes. So let's hear a slice of history that we've been denied. These come from the writings out of Egypt, and because there was commerce. There had always been commerce going on with Israel and Egypt. It was a home during the Ptolemy dynasty, after Alexander the Great died, and his 4 generals took different parts of the world. Ptolemy's got Egypt. I mean, there were like a couple 100,000 Hebrews living in Egypt, okay? And the Hebrew schools had been there ever since. And so people have a misimpression about Egypt, like, it's totally evil or something, and it's not quite that way. There's the dark side, and then there are those who are always wanting enlightenment in all cultures, okay? So we have to look at things from all sides. So anyway, I'm in the middle of a chapter here, starting in verse 17 in the book of manuscripts. And it starts off about the legal system, then it gets right into the secret societies. Though you will judge all men impartially, do not, in your diligence, incline towards the poor and unprotected, because they are such. And so this is talking about, just to qualify it, the introduction into the legal system by the Yudke, or what we call judges today, that this was basically their oath that they had to take. Though you will judge all men impartially, do not, in your diligence, incline towards the poor and unprotected, because they are such. Your duty is to see that all things are done according to the statutes of the king, in the manner in which they have been done previously. You are not wise enough to set aside the wisdom of the past. Every man must be dealt with as though he stood before you naked and unknown. Let he who is permitted entry into your courtyard be as he who is left standing outside the gate, and your decisions must be given with indifference as to whether they serve him well or ill. Such were the words uttered at the installation of an official empowered to give judgment. In other days, such words were honored and adhered to. Now they are ignored. Now justice lies buried in a tomb of past precedents, swathed in mummies' bandages of formality. It consists of the impartial, heartless administration of the recorded statutes rather than the redress of injustice. Where has the illumination, the enlightenment, the sunrise gone? All is lifeless. All is dead. The hands that guide are dead. The hands that rule are dead. Men may ask in days yet to dawn how it came about that the flame of enlightenment, of the great sunrise, died over Egypt. How her grandeur has passed away into the sand and dust. How, when men have climbed so high, he could climb no longer. But there is no simple cause. The seeds of degeneration lie dormant in every nation, in every man. As the man, so the nation. These seeds are as weeds, which spring up when the cultivated soil is neglected, when it is tended with indifference. The road to greatness is, for nations as for each man, a hard and stony one. Greatness is the gift, a gift requiring constant effort to retain. When men decline the effort, greatness departs. Greatness and illumination, enlightenment will abide only in the habitation of the worthy. They depart when no longer treated as honored guests. What are justice and truth today? They are no more than words mumbled by the lips, but once they were an inextinguishable flame burning within the hearts of men. What is left of honor when men cease to regard it as more than an empty symbol? It is like the lyre in the hands of a man with blistered fingers, or as the flute played by one with scabby, dried, and chapped lips. The instruments remain, but where are the musicians? Without the musicians, where are the melodies? In the land of Egypt, actually Kemet, periods of perfection and enlightenment in the pure shelter of the divine law have come and gone like ripples passing over a quiet pond. There have been periods of material greatness, ripples of longer duration, but they have not been at one with the ripples of perfection within the pure shelter of the divine law, the natural law. Throughout all time, there have been two visible forms of homage or worship, with their many variations, that of the highborn and that of the people. No different today. The Vatican has their secret mass underground, then they have their holy mass on Sunday in the public. Always the same. The elite underground, special rituals, drinking blood, killing babies. And these are my interjections, by the way, okay? And then the people just going along for the ride, never knowing the truth. Continuing. Now they have been blended for many generations. The worship of the high God and the knowledge of the sacred mysteries kept hidden by the enlightened ones and the twice born were behind both and veiled within them. Where else could these things be better concealed? The house of the hidden places was established 50 generations before the reign of the mighty one who was the first Pharaoh. And in those days, the high God in the throne of the sun was known to men and was revealed even after. But 20 generations before evil Amulka descended like locusts upon the land, there was strife most grievous. This is set forth in the scroll belonging to Kabitkant, son of Nimerath, copied from an old writing copied from another, which was the property of a temple in Pinhamore. It says, the twin powers drawn down entwined about themselves and grew even stronger. Sounds like the caduceus, the two serpents spinning. Even as waters are dammed to be drawn upon, so was the united power built up into a reserve of force. A storehouse of strange energy was prepared. The thoughts of the Setshara ever turned about within himself, and behold, you must see and read it for yourself, the day came when he followed the secret key to be his, the key that would open the inner chamber of sacred mysteries. Yet he made the mistake of all such men down through the ages, unaware that this his very unworthiness forbade his admittance into the inner mysteries, that though he could deceive himself and others, he could not deceive the inner guardians. It is true that some who were admitted to the outer chamber were indiscreet and spoke carelessly before the ears of unadmitted men. It is ever this way when excellence and goodness is not persecuted. For goodness blooms best in the barren soil of intolerance and injustice. Anyway, in this manner the seeds of strife and suffering were sown. Then Setshara conceived a plan whereby the multitude would be admitted. Now think of Freemasonry, okay? Worldwide, in every community of the world, would be admitted to participate in the sacred mysteries, hitherto kept exclusive for the worthy ones among men. We're talking false images, false light. He gathered together a following of his own from among the people and promised